So this is probably going to be quite a short video because I wasn't entirely sure if this was worth making. It's just a kind of a little update to the whole rumor leak thing with Daisy coming back to the MCU and with the possibility of them retconning Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. and that the people behind Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. gave their blessing. I covered this in a video about a week ago. I will link it in the description if you want to check it out. But I think that now that I've thought about it, there is a little bit kind of I want to go over. Mainly that this rumor is becoming less and less valid the more the days go on. Like, this is the second time in half a week that we've had something come out that sort of has changed the rumor or debunked it. But basically the first major rumor that I covered in the video stated that Daisy will be brought back into the MCU and that her origin will be changed and that Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. will be retconned. And that with Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D.'s retcon, the Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. creative team gave their blessing, basically. And these rumors are changing a lot. So I think it's kind of likely now that they are not legit, because this is the second time in half a week that something about the rumors changed. It's gone from Daisy's origin is being changed and that the creative team gave their blessing to Daisy's origin will be vague enough to not really be changed. Like, it'll be the kind of thing where anybody can make their own sort of mind up about what Daisy's origin is in the MCU. And then it's gone to the creative team basically debunking this rumor altogether. And the Watcher person on Twitter, after the first change where they came out and said that Daisy's origin will be vague, somebody did call them out in it and said, like, this kind of contradicts what you said before about Daisy's origin being changed. And they said, no, I didn't contradict anything. This is what I always said. So now it's sounding to me like the Watcher person is sort of doing damage control. That the rumors are changing to the point that they know they're getting out of hand, that they're changing and they're not the same thing that they originally said. So I think either the Watcher person is just making stuff up, which is possible. There's so many Twitter accounts out there that's just making up random Marvel stuff that these tweets do so well. Like, you would be surprised how many of these kind of Marvel accounts that have tons of followers just say the most random, clear bullshit stuff, and the tweets still do amazingly well. So it's possible to watch a person making stuff up because of that. I don't entirely think that's the case, though. I think it is likely that, I think either they think that they do actually know a lot, or do they think that the person that's giving them this information is legitimately in the Marvel kind of circle, but either they don't know as much as they thought they did, or the person giving them information isn't giving them kind of right information. Really quickly, before getting deeper into this video, I just want to ask if you could subscribe. These Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. videos are doing so well for the channel. Gained the most subscribers I have in the last couple weeks than I have since Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. Season 7 was airing. I'm so close to 1,000 now, so if you could really help there and subscribe and help us get to 1,000, that would be such a huge help. But yeah, to get into this, the person who kind of has started spoiling this is Marissa, who I'm going to be honest, I can't pronounce her second name. I've known of her since started watching Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. and I even watched some interviews to try and figure out how to pronounce her name, but I don't want to butcher it, so I'm just going to call her Marissa. But she is one of the main creators behind the show, along with Jed Whedon. And Joss Whedon, I guess, was also involved at the very early phases of the show, but the entire show is basically built around Marissa and Jed. And Marissa also played Sequoia in Season 6, Episode 4, which is called Code Yellow, you know, the Deke episode. And she tweeted that, our blessing, first I heard of this, in response to a comic book resources article that was on the rumor. So comic book resources put out an article talking about the rumor, sort of like the same stuff sort of I did with the video. And then she just kind of quote tweeted it and was like, our blessing, first I heard of this. So that's a huge blow to it, because a big thing about that rumor was that the Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. team had apparently signed off. And this isn't a case of like, well, maybe Marissa didn't know. No, if anybody's going to give their blessing on this, it will be Marissa and Jed. They are the two people in the know. And Marissa and Jed are married. So if Jed gave his blessing, Marissa would know about it. If Marissa gave her blessing, Jed would know about it. There's absolutely no way that the Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. creative team gave their blessing without Marissa knowing about this, because she is one of the main people on the creative team. And which made this even crazier is that Mark Kolpak, who is the main VFX person of Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D., also replied to it and said that he thought this was the case but wasn't positive on it. Now, Mark Kolpak, I'm not one to kind of know a lot of the big names behind TV shows, like even Arrow, that is my favorite show of all time. I don't know names like the VFX people. But with Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D., I think that the creative team and the people who work on the show actually do tweet a lot of really insightful things, and they do kind of put out some really cool things. Like with Mark, for example, around, I think, episode 10 or 11 of Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D.'s final season, like only a couple weeks before the final, he tweeted out that they had worked on something VFX-wise that tied into the snap, or that tied into Endgame and Infinity War, and that he was very surprised it didn't end up in the show, and that someone from Marvel must have decided not to put it in the show. I actually did do a video on this when it happened, just about kind of things that didn't make it into Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. Season 7, so I'll put that in the description if you want to check it out. It is like 2 years old, so it's possible that since there has been a bunch of new stuff come out that isn't in that video, but it's still a pretty insightful video. Like, there's some really cool stuff that did not make it into the final season. But Mark, kind of like, that's something that you don't see with a lot of other shows, where people who work on the shows coming out tweeting things that are really insightful and really interesting to us as fans. But yeah, him coming out and also saying that he wasn't sure if that was the case, but thanks for clarifying it, is also kind of a big blow to this rumor. So yeah, I think that this whole thing just makes the rumor less valid than it was before. Like, it was always pretty shaky. Like, I can't say I completely believed it, but just because it was Daisy and Chloe Bennet, I thought that it was at least kind of something to think about. Like, especially since Chloe Bennet has been hanging out with Simu, who plays Shang-Chi. I thought that there was like a lot of pieces falling into place for this to be legit. But now I'm kind of questioning everything that this Watcher person has said, because most of their rumors that they've been posting so far have been about Chloe Bennet and Daisy Johnson. Now it's possible this was just a mix-up, like the rest of the stuff is legit, and that this person just did hear that apparently the Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. creative team gave their blessing. Like, it is possible that Marvel are just straight up lying, that they're saying that they contacted the Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. creative team when they never even bothered to. That's completely possible, especially since we know Feige more or less hates Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. Like, alright, hate's probably a strong word, but whenever something in Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. Comes up, it's like he takes it personally. Like, I don't know, I think that there's a lot of kind of childish behavior from Feige and a lot of the other old heads of Marvel TV in how they don't get along with each other, and in how they don't really kind of work with each other. I mean, I know some of the people behind Marvel TV were apparently absolute assholes, but they handle stuff in a very kind of childish way, Feige especially, when it comes to Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. So it's totally possible that they were like, yeah, no, we did reach out to them. They gave us our blessing. And the Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. creative team were like, no, we didn't. So that is possible. I think it'll be interesting to wait and see if Jed Whedon comes out and says anything about this. Because if both Jed and Marissa are like, no way, then that's pretty much a huge blow against Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. people showing up in the MCU at all. Because now this means that if Chloe or if Daisy is showing up in the MCU in like the next year or two, the Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. creative team have not been contacted about that. They have not signed off on that. They have not kind of said, we're on board with this, which that's almost worse to me than if Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. characters showed up and their origin was changed. Like, I genuinely think that if the Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. creative team have not signed off on bringing Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. characters back, the MCU shouldn't touch them. I don't want to see Daisy Johnson, I don't want to see Fitz and Simmons if like Marissa and Jed are both against that kind of thing. Now, I'm probably kind of very much in the minority about that, but like, it's the kind of like thing with Principle, where they created these guys. They didn't create Daisy, the comics created Daisy, but they gave Daisy so much popularity to the point that like Daisy Johnson, yeah, she was a big comic book character, she did not get near as popular until Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. And like FitzSimmons, they created Fitz and Simmons, they created May, they created Ward, they created so many great characters. I don't want to see them back unless they're on board with it. Like, I'm not saying they need to be writing the characters, that will be great, but I'm not saying that needs to be the case. I just want to see them sign off on it and be like, yes, we're okay with this happening, sort of thing. But yeah, how do you feel about all this new information? How do you feel about them coming out and kind of being like, nope, we didn't say any of this, sort of thing? Let me know if there's any videos you want to see on the channel, and again, if you're not subscribed yet, please do so. It would be a huge help, and like and share and all of that, and I hope you have a great day.